What's up, everybody? Welcome to the original Next Level Gaming Podcast. I am Mike Mullis. It is a pleasure to have you guys out all on this lovely Sunday evening. Hopefully, the Sunday night football game has scared most of you away, and you can come here to the NLG Podcast. You guys out all on this lovely Sunday. Oh, so I love hearing myself talk.
That was, I think HDK was watching it or something on the
Ah.
YouTube channel. It wasn't
Gotcha.
me, so
No, it wasn't us.
He's in the podcast.
Well, welcome everybody in.
Podcast.
welcome to the podcast.
Podcast. Hope everybody is having a great weekend. Hopefully, my wonderful friends down here are having a wonderful weekend. Let's introduce them now. I need to have that music. Panelist number one. So he's to my left, your right, and for some reason now, just the sequence. I don't know why, but you're always in the same sequence, no matter when you come into the room.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's easy for me. So first up, Mr. Crazy Juan, what's up, brother?
Good evening. Crazy long day today with weather and work and snow difficulties, and yeah, it was interesting. Happy to put my mind to something else for a bit.
Yeah.
Brought along a lining kugel to ease the trip, so that'll be great too.
Nice. As soon as you get your webcam for Christmas, you can show us these lovely beers.
Mm-hmm. That's one of the two things I'm asking for now, and now a snowblower.
No, and I've said it a million times, man. Your job sucks.
No comment.
Dude, they don't know who you are.
You'd be surprised.
If anybody from there, in fact, if anybody from there is listening, thanks for the follow.
I just it's just a
Thanks to you.
rule. I don't talk about it on social.
I know, but I have to get
No,
this
I know
picture
that you
back.
don't. I know that you don't. But I can say it for you.
I appreciate the thought.
So, hey, man, what about your Lions? Matthew Stafford with a finger that actually bends this way now.
I'm telling you, it worked, right? In my area, it wasn't aired. Like, we weren't able to watch. I don't think it was aired anywhere. I think they aired the Browns game instead. Like, that makes sense. But I was able to track it through the NFL.com game tracker. And from that point of view, I mean, I couldn't really see how they played. So to say they played well would be weird. But, I like the outcome. I saw them, get the ball back and move down the field and with good order. And, yeah, so.
They're 9-4.
Yeah, they're still leading the division.
I know.
Get the hockey score with
Yeah. All right. Well, next up, who doesn't watch football or care about football because he's Canadian? It's the great Modzu
Yeah,
and the
I
great
don't care
Mrs.
about
Modzu. What's up, guys?
Not much, just somewhat paying attention to a hockey game. And of course, my computer just had to decide, well, we're going to get some updates and, we're going to force you to restart your computer. What was it, 10 to 9?
That happens a lot to me. So I'm with you. So
At least it wasn't during the podcast.
no, this is true. We can't yet confirm that my computer will not flake out during the podcast. So
But
everybody keep your fingers crossed. Shannon, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm
You working
tired
tonight?
I went in, did about 4 hours of work tonight, and then had fun trying to come home because, we're getting snow up here, too.
yeah, lots of snow. Hey, we actually did some Christmas caroling today after work for a little bit with some friends from, well, he's in the chat, Mike and Chantel,
His wife.
his wife. We were just doing some caroling. It was fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
Somewhat. I hate singing. I'm sure we all do, but
But the,
Well.
the seniors really enjoy it. It puts a smile on their faces, so.
You guys do such
it worth it.
great humanitarian work.
Yeah, they're way better people than I am.
well, we try to do good things, all the time.
Yeah.
In the community, even online, I try to, bring positivity to, the world of gaming.
That's awesome. And we have a video coming up from you tomorrow, the tennis in your face.
Oh, that game is kind of fun.
Yeah. You know what it reminded me of, though? And I love 10 Tons. They're great. They kind of copied their own game. There was a baseball-themed game, too, that is kind of exactly like that.
Oh, it was a baseball riot, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
So Yeah, it was the same game. It just was baseball instead of tennis.
Yeah, nice thing is I got all achievements in that game, so I'm happy.
Nice.
10 Tons always does a great job. with
No,
the
they do.
games.
Crimson
they're-
Land. Crimson Land is still one of my favorite games from them, and arguably one of my top 5 indie games from this year. It's a very underappreciated game if you are a twin stick. Trying to think what it's like. It's almost like, and people are gonna say no, but it's like an action-based version of like Smash TV meets Fallout, the original overhead Fallout.
No, you're wrong, Mike.
I'm telling you, it is awesome. We have video of it. I mean,
Yeah, I've not played it, but
it's a couple
I'm sure
years
it's a
old,
good
but it's
game.
still really, really cool. So, well, that's awesome, and they want you to do some caroling. So,
No.
Put the kibosh on that.
I had to type that in 3 times. Maybe it'll get through to them. No.
And then, I said,
And then
we have the man, the myth. He's in the podcast. He is Peter HTK. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's going on?
Not much.
Good to be back on.
Well,
HDTK.
HDTK with his cool, expensive microphone.
Yeah, I got it on sale.
HD
Black Fridays.
coming in HD, of course.
Yeah, if it isn't high def,
Hey, sounds great. So,
HDT 4K.
He's
Right,
like
HD
one of the groups.
4K.
He's there to smile and
AC 4K.
make it look good.
HD 4K.
Coming
No.
soon.
That beats the hell out of my cheap little Logitech mic. This microphone actually came with the PS2 version of Karaoke Revolution. Little
It
trivia
still
for
works.
you, and it
Quality
still
back
works
then.
after all this time.
Sick.
Same.
Guitar Hero.
Nice.
Great. And here's my little stand. It's
It's
it's a makeshift stand. It
Nice.
works.
hey,
When you're on a budget, you just come up with ideas.
this
In my
stand
head, I
is
hit
actually
everything.
this stand is actually for my band. So I just
for your
pull it out of the garage and bring it down here and use it until we have a gig.
Yeah, the Piano Man,
So
Mike Mullis.
That's right.
One fanboy.
that's right. Piano fanboy.
Piano fanboy. Sing
So-
us a song, Mr. Piano Man.
Only if you carol.
No, Carol.
Come on.
We'll-
Come on, sing with me. I'll sing harmony. I'll sing harmony for you.
Get the chat to carol along. Sing along, chat.
Right, sing along, chat. We won't hear you. Oh man. So
probably chat off beat a little.
speaking of the chat, we want to welcome in everybody to the chat room. It's already hopping, as it always is, even before we get started. I'll just go through the list of people who are there now. Super Cooper is in. Looks like Retrobate from Twitter. Of course, he's in as DEA 61636. Welcome in. It's his first time in a live chat. So welcome. Mr. Solo is in. Solo 11B. We haven't gamed with you in a while. Solo, where have you been, brother? We got to get you Mazu's friend
He's been
Michael.
playing. I can't remember what I've seen him playing last, but he's been on.
You know why? Because we're not playing stuff he wants to play. We got to get back to playing some Halo and Overwatch.
Hey,
Are you sure you weren't taking a nap, Mike?
When?
Last night?
I fell asleep right on the couch.
Yeah.
I had a date night with my wife, so.
Oh,
That's
so
why
you
I
weren't
was-
on either.
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm not the only one who missed it. I was feeling all guilty.
Just keep feeling guilty anyway.
We're having some great Forza-thon going
know.
on.
Forza.
No, that's what Fastback said, and he's in there.
I just hit chapter 4 or act 4 in Gears of War on Insane. I passed that spot, HTK. I passed it.
Nice.
I had to look up a strategy, but I passed that spot.
Hey,
How about that third act, huh?
Oh, that was hard. I think it was like the part where you get on the turret in that building. I was stuck there for like 5 hours.
Good Lord.
Yeah, it's tough.
Even HTK joined me. We just kept dying, and then I found a strategy to do it, and Took me like 2 tries. Like, really? 2 tries?
Oh, man. Make sure you share it.
Make sure I share it, yeah.
Because knowing is half the battle.
Knowing. The more you know, get that rainbow thing to go across the screen, you know.
Yeah. We do have other new people in the chat room tonight. The Macaval 010. Welcome in. So let's see. Ricardo Souza's one of our regulars. Welcome back. And let's see. And that's it for now. And we'll get some other people in soon. I know Maddie can't be with us tonight, although he wants to come on the podcast, but he said he's going to try to sneak into the chat a little later. He's got some family going on. And Max says he's down for some Arena and Halo. So, we got to try out the new Halo update and get some footage for NLG. So I'm thinking that we have to do that this week or perhaps next weekend. And we'll get some of these guys. Definitely want to get some of these guys in to play with us. Genesis fan 01, who actually subscribed to us this week.
Nice.
Thanks and welcome into the chat room.
Just a quick plug. Right now, I'm Team Sticker, just so you know.
Team Sticker.
No.
Team Sticker.
I'm sorry. Yes, Team Sticker. Team Sticker. Yes.
No.
Yes, Robbie.
We're
on Robbie's team. Don't worry.
I unwrapped my freshly new Xbox One S, and I kept the sticker on.
Nice. Well done.
Now let it breathe.
Still think that the sticker only belongs on the OG Xbox One, though. The rest, rip it up.
I got an OG one. It's downstairs, and it still has a sticker on, too. So
Yeah,
Team Sticker.
Mine OG has a sticker.
Mine does too.
But if I would get an 1S, the sticker would be...
Why?
Because it has that little lip,
So it's got a little lip. Who cares? You can cut it off with scissors. Cut it off with scissors.
Little utility knife.
Or utility
We have
knife.
another new guy in the chat room, the finest. Welcome in. So if you're, as I've been saying the last few weeks, if you are seeing us talk to the chat room live, it's because we like to get their opinions and we like to get them to interact with us while we're doing the podcast. Because really, otherwise, this could be just an online party on a console, and we could be talking to each other. But really, the chat rooms really what drives us, and our listeners and our faithful people in the chat room are what drive us. So, if you are watching this later and you're wondering how do I get involved, you could comment below, which we'd love to have comments too. We could read some of those comments on a future podcast. We'd really rather have you live in chat. So make sure that you're coming on the podcast at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday nights. And check us out on Twitter. If our Twitter feed is here. We always advertise and give the link for the podcast when it goes live. Okay, so and of course, with the podcast, please be respectful. No fanboy nonsense in there.
I gotta leave then. See you guys.
Yeah, sorry, Madzu. And just be considerate of the other folks in the chat room because we're all gamers, and we're all good people. So, all right. So we got not lots to talk about, but we've got some big major things that have happened this week, and we'll try to keep it concise and see if we can keep this under 3 hours.
Works for me. I gotta be up earlier than usual tomorrow.
Oh yeah, especially in the snow. I cannot. Never mind. I'm gonna leave it alone. It's not my job.
Bad snow.
Bad
Go away,
snow.
snow.
So, HTK, we only got like a half hour worth of nothing here. What'd you get?
It's like a dusting.
We didn't even get a dusting. It didn't even stick.
We didn't get anything.
Oh, okay. It passed you altogether.
Yeah.
And by the way, yes, these are Girl Scout Thin Mints. Really knows for the evening. And any of you older gamers who might recognize what's on my hat, I thought I'd wear this tonight because honestly, my hair isn't working with me this evening. So rather than look like a schmuck, I put the hat on and look like a trucker schmuck. So if any of you guys out there recognize this, comment below. I'd be interested to see who actually remembers XSN Sports.
Yeah, I just actually watched a trailer for that the other day on a disc that I have.
I still have videos we made in the website of all those games, and I found an old image where we ran XSN Sports leagues on NLG and had a lot of fun with it. And I miss those days. And that was one of those things that, you know, you shake your head and go, why Microsoft? Why?
Yeah.
Why didn't you stick with it? Much like Game Room and a bunch of other stuff and Kinect. Okay, so switching. So we'll get to some Microsoft news shortly, but starting off, so Sony this week has announced, and they announced it through their official Sony Interactive Entertainment site, that they have surpassed 50 million PS4s worldwide. And I'm assuming, okay, as it says, this includes the sales of the PlayStation Pro, which just came out. So they had their best Black Friday week in the history of the company, or in the history of PlayStation, and they have now sold 50 million units to consumers worldwide as of December 6th. So congratulations to them. I mean, that's, you know, that's if you look at where they are in relation to the PlayStation 2, we're only 3 years into the generation and they're halfway there. It's not a bad feat.
No, it's impressive to be sure.
So,
it's showing how healthy, you know, the gaming industry is. You know, it's a good sign.
well, and look, the PlayStation 4 is a worldwide brand. You know, there's a reason for it too. What they are able to get as far as, you know, genre of games is kind of unmatched. I mean, not even Nintendo can really kind of hit everything that Sony is able to get out of Western developers, Eastern developers, and European developers. And so they've
Yep, I know.
they've got a product that everybody across the universe seems to want.
No, and it's for good reason too. It's a good product, but I would, you know, raise my hand a bit at one statement there, because everyone says they have the genre, you know, variety, and I don't know. It seems like, from my perspective, when I hear that, I go, well, they have some particulars that don't, you know, necessarily go up, like JRPGs, for example. There's not a lot of those on Xbox, but they are there. Do they get all the best ones? Probably not, because they don't really get that many of them, because they don't sell. It's like a vicious cycle. They don't sell, so, you know, why bring them there? So they don't sell. So the good ones don't come, so they don't sell, so on and so forth. But, you know, the last couple of weeks I've heard all over Twitter about variety, you know, being what it is. And, you know, I think that for a lot of times, I think the Xbox doesn't get credit for the variety it does have.
Well,
because we know where it lacks. We know it doesn't have the JRPGs. We know it doesn't have a lot of the anime games. But really, if you break it, if you're talking genre, what genre does it not have?
that, for starters, I mean, that's not a small thing, and the issue that, so I go back, and you make a very good point, in that part of the problem is, it's not that I'm not saying it's that they haven't tried, but they do it better than anybody else. I mean, look how many games just look at. Let's go back to PSX that just happened.
Mm-hmm.
Look at. Hold on a second. Gotta take care of something here real quick. Not sure what. Sorry, folks. Sometimes the chat room needs a little work. Thank you, HDK.
Yep.
So anyway, I'm not saying it's for a lack of trying, but look at Sega, for example. Look at Yakuza, which people are like flipping their lid over because it's coming west. It's only coming west to the PS4. Look at Dragon Quest from Capcom. Capcom.
Square.
Square. You know, only PlayStation. Yeah, we get Xbox gamers get to see Final Fantasy 15, but they're not getting any of the remakes. They're not getting any of the previous games. Yes, Xbox, I think, is still getting Kingdom Hearts, if anybody's still getting Kingdom Hearts 3 at this point, but all the previous Kingdom Hearts games, PlayStation only. So there's a pattern to this that Microsoft can't quite get a hold of, but
that was one genre.
Yeah, but
all those basically fall upon that one genre.
Yeah, but that genre is not
and it's not
genre
entirely without games from it.
Say again?
Well, it's what I'm saying is this one genre that everyone's talking about with these games, and yes, they're not getting all those games. They're not getting all the best games in that genre, but the idea that it lacks variety because it's missing one genre is crazy. It has all kinds of variety. I mean, when I look at my library, everyone always talks about Forza, Halo, Gears, used to be Fable. But really, of the 300 games I own, 11 of them are titles from that series, going back to the Master Chief Collection, going back to, OG Xbox titles too. So, it gets a bum rap for having no variety because of the fact that it doesn't have some or a portion of the JRPG market. And I think that's just, I understand it's a big genre and that people want it, but I don't truck with saying it doesn't have variety because it's missing that genre.
Okay, but going back to the PS4 though, which is really where we're kind of, I mean, we could have that discussion. We kind of did have a little bit of that last week when we were discussing where all the IPs have gone.
Right.
But the reason that I'm saying that the PS4 is such a worldwide success is because while we over here may not put as much stock in JRPGs, Europe and Asia does. And it's one place where, in Europe, I mean, they call it Sony Land for a reason. I mean, those games sell over there like crazy. And, all of that, the U.S. is a giant market. It's arguably now the largest market for video gaming. No doubt about it. It's, where it used to be Japan 1, maybe U.S. and Europe kind of jockeying for 2 and 3. It's absolutely U.S. 1, Europe 2, Japan 3. That shift has kind of made its way in the last 20 years, I'd say, or at least since consoles started to launch in the U.S. before they launched in Japan.
I think the general move away from consoles in Japan to say mobile and handhelds.
True, which is why Nintendo's. I think that's why Nintendo's making that big Switch push like they are to make that console what it is, and we're going to talk about that later too. But the reason that the PS4, well, 2 reasons. Number one, they sell in 122 different countries. Microsoft does not. Nintendo does not. They're the only ones that sell in countries that nobody else even bothers with. So those add to the numbers, but they do have these other titles that, that those regions want. And for some reason, I mean, if we want to go back to Microsoft for a second, and again, that's why I said Microsoft, it's not for a lack of trying. They had, guys like companies like Mistwalker making games for them. They had a Final Fantasy online game, an MMO on the Xbox 360. You had some of that. You had some of that stuff on the OG Xbox. But the reason that Microsoft gets the Dude Bro label all the time is because no one buys it. So then you get into the cycle that you're talking about. They bring the games over. Final Fantasy 15 probably has the same 80-20 sale ratio that other, Japanese-made games have on the system. And so Square understands that. So they're not going to spend the money to translate over Final Fantasy VII when they know all they have to do is put it out, and everybody in the world on PS4 is going to buy it, and it's probably going to sell PS4 units. That helps Sony with their numbers.
Right.
And it just goes into this cycle where I think the PS4 is going to hit. I would be surprised if it didn't hit 100 million before it was said and done. If we're also including the PS Pro. Because eventually I think
how Final Fantasy 15 did on Xbox. Just because Final Fantasy 15 is my first Final Fantasy game. So there might be more people like me, so I'm just curious. So,
what's your impressions of it?
Oh, it's really good. Really digging it. It's can't wait to go back and play it some more.
And I think I asked you this: is it a game that you can get into if you've never played Final Fantasy before? Because that's not my thing.
Yes, I mean I've never. I said, I've never been into Final Fantasy. This is my first one, and you know, I don't know. You need any prior knowledge of the story.
Yeah, it looks interesting enough. Like, I played many Final Fantasy games in the past. I'm almost thinking, because I played them before, it's holding me back from 15 because the combat system is different.
So, yeah, I think the first thing that comes up on the screen is a Final Fantasy for fans and first-timers when it boots up.
Yeah, that's right. That's what it says. Yeah, that's kind of neat.
True.
I believe it, too. I go back to the OG, the NES for Final Fantasy, and I played through the SNES ones, 7, 8, 9. I didn't do much of the MMOs till like the 12, 14, but 13, I didn't do the whole trilogy, but I liked 13. A lot of people hated it, so I guess I'm one of those fans.
Which is fine. I mean, there are people who love the Final Fantasy genre. I mean, I was a Phantasy Star guy myself, so if I ever get a chance to, if they ever decide to bring Phantasy Star Online West, I'm down. But
yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, what?
I'm sad Nate didn't say hi to me. Says hi to everybody else and forgets about me. Okay, fine.
So apologies, for derailing with the variety comment. I just heard that all week and it always bugged me. But you're right about Fortress Europe for PlayStation. I mean, it's definitely a dominant world brand, and it's one of those things where it has that, like you mentioned in the previous podcast, about how it dips back into that legacy to keep people hooked.
Right,
and it was really brilliant.
So, and look, it's hard. It's I understand that they do try. It's not that Microsoft doesn't try, and I would think in a perfect world, Phil would love to have Yakuza on that system because it's a big hit, and I know a lot of people who are like thrilled to get to play it in English. Because they didn't want to, because the systems are region free. You can buy the Japanese version of Yakuza and play it, but you have to get through trying to figure out the dialogue, and so to have it localized for the West is a big thing. And I know a lot of people are very excited for it, and I dig those kind of games too. If those games kind of give me that true crime Sleeping Dogs kind of vibe, and so I could see myself playing it as well. And that's just it. Now, again, for me, and I said this last week, and I know not everybody wants to own multiple consoles, and I don't care if you do or not. If you like to be a single console person, who am I to tell you what to play and what not to play? I like to sit on the precipice of I don't have to choose. Like, I don't have to sit here and say, damn, I'd really like to have Yakuza, but I only have an Xbox, or I'd like to have Gears of War, but I only have a PlayStation. I like the fact that I can I basically I see a game, I want a game, I buy the game. And now I've got people. I've been kind of. It's funny. I've been monitoring Twitter of my friends who have been playing The Last Guardian, and I think I'm now back on the side of buying it, because I've got to not the people who are actually playing it are making it sound like it's worth the decade-long wait. So I think I'm going to end up buying it and probably do some kind of after the New Year stream of it, and kind of get that. Apparently, it's very emotional too, and so I can get into that, like I did with Ori. But I don't have to choose. I don't have to pick. I don't have to go, oh man, I'd love to play The Last Guardian, but I don't have a PlayStation. So I guess that's, and then both companies get to play into that, and I think it helps both companies to be able to say that kind of stuff. A couple of years ago, I was of the mind of each company should say, well, you could play this game, and this game on my system, and they both should. They both should be able to sell you on them. And I'll give you a great example of I basically of that is the example I wanted to give, was just being able to not have to be left out or feel like I'm missing something. And it would be nice to see Microsoft make some take some risks and do some games that try to convince Sega to do something like that. But I just don't think they're going to. I think they're going to stick with what they do. And so, in order to have that overall variety, I think that's where you need to be. That's just my kind of opinion. So they've done well. And so where do we see them going from here? We now have, PS4, PS Pro, PSVR. Where's Sony headed?
I think their smart move is to now that you get the Pro in some people's hands, go back to kind of pushing the VR more, because that's kind of dried up in the last little bit. You haven't heard a lot about it from different sites or social media, things like that. And I think with the extra oomph that the Pro has, I think that's one of the reasons the Pro exists, honestly. So I think that's their best move, because I don't think you're going to see a new console from them for some time at this point.
Yeah, I'd like to see more games, first-party games being pushed out by them that actually show the power of the Pro. So they say, see what the overall differences, of the standard PS4 compared to the Pro.
Problem with that is I think they made the same statements that MS did about not leaving anybody behind.
Yeah, which in a sense it kind of sucks, because then they have to have that kind of parity in there, and they have to eventually kind of move beyond the original PlayStation, or the Xbox has to move beyond the original Xbox One. So
yeah, but they can't. Neither company can do that right now, because they both said the same thing. I mean, Phil Spencer, when they announced the Scorpio, said, we're not leaving anybody behind. All of your Xbox accessories and games will play on the Scorpio, and so on and so forth. So they really can't. So, what if you notice, and Juan makes a good point, which is why I just have no desire to upgrade. If you notice what they're talking about with the Pro, it's not fidelity in the way that we would expect it to be. It's not fidelity in that, well, you get better. We were kind of sold on this thing. Well, if you only had 1080p televisions and not 4K, well, you'd have more foliage, or you'd have, look at these extra blades of grass. I don't see that happening right now. Yeah, I don't see that happening at the moment. What I see is, if you have a
That would be
4K
extra
TV,
snowflakes.
right? If you have a 4K TV, you're going to get native 4K in some cases, and if you're running at 1080p, you'll get a frame rate boost. But I would love to. This is why I was hoping, because I thought Maddie got one. I'd love to have someone come on the podcast as a guest that actually does have it and has a pro and can kind of give us the skinny on what he's seen or she has seen in the difference in the consoles, because that's the thing that makes me wonder what it's really going to do going forward. Now, I think the first game that's going to really show anything is going to be Horizon, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
GT Sport maybe.
GT Sport, but they said that's just going to be 4K.
Yeah, but 4K at 60 is no joke. That'll be pretty sweet if they get that done. If they can get a lock 60 and it looks good at 4K, you know, some lasing on it too. Yeah, that'll be big.
Well, I don't know how many teraflops that requires, so
it'll be so big that the Game Awards will have a dedicated racing category.
Not bitter about
Heard it here
that.
first, folks. Dedicated racing award.
Dedicated racing.
No. Yeah, so
It goes to Rocket
HDK,
League.
where do you think? I mean, where do you see? Because you're close. You were actually close to getting a pro yourself. So
Yeah, if I could find that deal at Amazon, it was cheap and who knows.
Sold
But,
it on you.
Yeah, I think, I mean, you know, they really need to show why you should get a pro. What makes it look better and not just pure not from just pure resolution, but the whole kitchen caboodle, you know. What you said, more grass, more snowflakes,
Yeah, and
60 frames per second in you know, all those 4,000 some pixels.
Yeah, I've done some reading on it, and some games that haven't been patched seem to run worse on the Pro for some reason, you know? And that doesn't make you want to run out and buy it.
yeah, well, to be fair,
Probably to iron out a little bit too. You know,
to be fair, who didn't think that was going to happen? That seemed. I mean, we're talking about something new. You know,
and it could be something very simple too.
It could be a simple patch that easily fixes, you know, it, or, you know, it could be more complicated. Who knows?
yeah, and I think as they get towards games that they're not having to patch, I think that's going to go away. You know, patches are notorious for breaking things, and so you know, I don't judge. I don't know that I can judge the Pro on that. I want to see where the real enhancements are in the games that are being developed for it.
I think if you can get some hands-on time, it could sell you on it a lot better than just seeing a little bit of game footage on YouTube.
Agreed. I can agree with that.
I mean, if you could actually like compare it yourself, you know, I find that's always the biggest seller.
Yeah, but also like if you have to put them side by side in order to notice differences, then that might not be such a huge difference. The same thing with the whole 900p and 1080p. You know, if you have to put them side by side in order to really see the difference, like, oh yeah, this one looks better. I mean, if you don't experience it by just playing it, then the gain is not as,
No,
not as great as what you would think it would be. So
right. If you need Digital Foundry to tell you what to think, then I don't think it's right. I agree with that. But I'd like to have some perspective from somebody who does have one that can, you know, that can tell us, because we could sit here and speculate all we want, but it's not. It also is not fair to the.
It's not accurate, really.
Yeah, it's not fair to the system or Sony, to be quite honest. It's not fair to them for us to judge it based on that. So I'd really like to have somebody who has it, who can, kind of
Friends and word of mouth can sell
sell
a
it.
lot, too.
Well, yeah, who could sell it to us on a consumer level? Because really, what's the sales pitch always been for why you buy a console? Well, then your friends will buy it. Then your friends will buy it. You always want to be where your friends are, right? We hear that all the time. So, I want to have somebody who could tell us a lot about it. I could talk about, the PlayStation 4. You guys could all talk about Xbox, but none of us could talk about, the real tangible differences in the Pro, other than what we read, other than the few things we see on news sites.
Impressions we get from
right.
media.
I'd love to have somebody give us some real time impressions. So I'm going to work on that. And, if you guys know anybody who has it.
Fastback is saying Bella has it.
Yeah, we could get Bella on to talk about it. And then she could berate us for not saving up money for it and bring out her spreadsheet.
Spreadsheets, yes.
So I'll ask her if she wants to come on. And she can talk about it.
She can sell it.
Yeah. So, but HTK, where do you think they're going? And where do you see Sony, let's say, going in the next couple of years? I mean, they had a really strong PSX. The games are there. So where are we headed?
Probably just keep on going. I mean, probably in a couple of years there will be, I don't know, if it's still going to be iterative consoles or PS5 or PS4 Pro Plus,
Pro.
And about the whole PSVR, I don't know. It seems like the whole VR seems to sizzle a little bit. I don't know. Maybe we'll pick up again if they have some good tangible games and not
I think
experiences.
they're missing a killer app.
But I don't know.
Frankie actually took his out of the box.
Yeah,
He took the dust off it.
All that.
Yes. And of course, he couldn't be on tonight because it's the holiday season and he's working
Past his
until dead.
bedtime.
So
Well, the game he showed was the one I've probably heard the most positive things about.
the Batman.
Yeah.
So, well, the Battlefront.
Battlezone?
No, Battlefront VR. The X-wing VR experience came out.
Nice.
So that one probably is going to be pretty cool. But again, it's an experience.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know that they sold what they thought they would sell in the PSVR. We haven't got any solid numbers yet, but I do know that they rounded down their estimates. And so whether or not that means anything, hopefully they will stick with it because companies just tend to drop stuff too quickly. If they stick with it, they could make a run at getting more mainstream. They're going to have to drop that price a bit too because I still, while I'm on the fence about it, I can't afford it. So I don't have, we all don't have Frankie's money.
How much is it going for again? Was it
Still
like
400, I believe.
4, isn't it?
400?
Yeah. And that's because I don't have a camera. I don't have.
You got to get all the stuff.
Is that the bundle or is that still
little
a
handheld stick thingies?
naked VR?
Let's see.
The glowing wands.
Yeah. This is just off the shopping site. I mean, I think it's still $399 with the camera and a wand and all that stuff. I
hadn't heard anyone talking deep discounts on it yet.
No, it's gonna need one.
Maybe sometime next year you'll start seeing discounts come by. Hopefully.
Yeah, even with Black Friday, I didn't see any sales for those.
No,
Not like the
No.
$60 they took off the
Yeah.
Pro.
it definitely. Again, I would be glad to. I'd be glad to take a serious look at it because I still do have that. There's that. There is that. I'm on the fence with it. I have that interest in it as a gadget guy, and as somebody who likes technology, and I think it could be cool, but I've got to, it's $3.99 still. I got to be convinced I'm going to play it for more than 2 weeks and then put it back in the box and leave it in the box.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and you still have to buy games for it, which is the other part of it. So not only do you have to buy that, but yeah, I still have to spend $40 to $60 a game to play. So am I going to be able to afford all that too? And it all weighs down. So
Sounds like you need to win the lottery.
yeah, I really do. So some new guys into the chat room. Welcome in Noam, who missed us last week, but is here with us this week. And Justin Brown, what's going on, guys? Welcome in. And he said he got a PS Pro 2 weeks ago, Justin Brown. So put your impressions of it in the chat there, Justin, and we'll kind of bring it in. And so anyway, Jason, any thoughts on where they're headed?
I think they're just going to push the games for the next couple of years anyways, because, they want to give you a reason to buy their stuff, right? I mean, they started out slow, which I think they did, holiday seasons. They didn't really have anything to offer first party wise and that. But I see that picking up over the next couple of years.
All right. Anybody?
No, well, the first part of 2017 looked real strong for them. Some of that is delays that have spilled over, to make it look, and not to make it look, but resulting in it looking, like there's a lot coming. But some of that is delayed, just coming in.
Yeah, but I mean, they both delay games.
Oh yeah,
Scalebound delay.
Yeah.
Don't talk about Cuphead. Below.
Right, Cuphead. I don't think Cuphead's ever coming out. I don't think it's ever coming out.
Is it coming out?
I don't know.
It will.
Mike, that Cuphead has spilleth over. I think it's. I don't think it's coming out. I mean, they both delay games like crazy. Below, and they didn't even, which I said was a good thing last week. They didn't even give a time frame for The Last of Us 2. They just said early development and done.
I think that's a perfect way to, put it, so that way you weren't getting people's hopes up for like 2018 or 2019.
Yeah, they definitely manage expectations with that one.
Yep. Because, I mean, Crackdown, delay. GT Sport, delay. They both do it.
Yeah.
Crackdown won't be around until there's a Scorpio to put it on, is my wager. But speaking of delayed games, the Sea of Thieves did open up a thing that I registered for, and I'm hoping against hope to get involved in the technical
alpha
on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're all signed up for that. So
yeah, I think that will be sweet.
I just want multi-crewing. I have done so little multiplayer this gen because I just got away from it. But I would so come back to multiplayer to do multi-crewing of ships.
You see us online. I don't know why you don't jump in and play with us.
I don't know.
I
think I did years of like Halo with a clan of like 12 guys that I worked with, or then that turned into Call of Duty, and I did all kinds of online stuff on PC when I was a hardcore PC gamer. And there's a definite freedom to not having any kind of I need to be on with these people on or anything like that. I think that's part of it. But I played the hell out of like Left 4 Dead on multiplayer. It's like, obviously that's what it was, but I played so much of that game. But this generation, I just haven't really felt it. Some co-op. I'm all down for some co-op.
Co-op, I think, and I know HTK said this. I think you said it on Twitter, and him and I kind of are on the same wavelength. I actually prefer co-op to competitive multiplayer.
That might be just us getting old, though.
Well, it absolutely is. I can't keep up with these kids.
Yeah, I mean, especially games that they play those games like for 16 hours a day, and that's all they do.
Right.
Yeah. No, I can't get into that. And that's why I was so upset about Dead Rising 4, because Dead Rising 3's co-op was great. Dead Rising 4 doesn't have it. And honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that I won the game from a Major Nelson giveaway.
Lucky.
Oh, you won that, did you?
I did win that.
I didn't catch that. Nice.
No, I won
And
that.
you didn't send it to
finally.
me. How rude.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the fact that I won the game, I probably wouldn't have gotten it, because I've got enough games that I have to play by myself. I'd rather play with you guys, and I'd rather play co-op, because I find those to be fun, and it's interactive. That's what I prefer. And Fastback
I'm kind of
said
lukewarm.
Ghost Recon Wildlands, Sea of Thieves, State of Decay 2 would be good.
Ghost Recon. I'm looking forward to that.
I was looking so forward to Ghost Recon. Oh my god, I'm gonna play the crap out of that game.
Yeah.
So, Maddie joined us. Maddie says, "Have no fear, Dead Rising 4 is fantastic." Okay.
I really wish I felt the same way.
I wouldn't know. I haven't played Dead Rising 4.
Yeah, I
still
also saw
great
some
on
of the co-op mode, and that looked like pretty fun.
Well, I'll let you
The
know.
I don't
co-op
know.
looked fun. Yeah, I got some friends that are playing it all the time.
I may be a little bit of a DR purist. I'm still up to jury on Dead Rising 4. I haven't loved it immediately like I hoped I would.
That's what I was afraid of too, especially coming out of 3.
I think it's my own fault though. I was playing my wife and I. She likes to watch me play games sometimes, and that's one of our games that we'll do that with. And so we've been through all of them, and like the 7-Day Survivor, crazy achievement stuff and all that. But this game, without the timer, I think they expect you to do a lot more stuff on the side. And so I was just like burning through the game in the first case, like I was playing one of the other games and moving along, and then I finished the case and it's like you did 15% of the crap. And I was like, oh, I guess I'm doing it wrong. So I'll be starting over. But I guess my other big complaint is that, I'm kind of miss the timer thing, because I don't feel like there's a tension. Like it's lacking tension, because I'm supposed to go here and do this thing, and it's supposed to be important, but I also have to do the other 100 things. Like, which is, how could it be that important if I'm not? If I'm also supposed to be doing this stuff. But anyway, the combat too, for some reason, just doesn't feel as weighty to me. Even like the combo weapons, I'm having trouble finding ones that, like in my other games, I know this is my go-to knockdown weapon. Because really, again, with that game being on the timer, killing the zombies wasn't really the point. So yeah, there's a lot of fancy ways to do it, but just give me something that knocks them down and gets them out of my way. Right. And there's so little of that. Like even combo weapons, I'm still having to hit zombies like 3-4 times each. And there's so many. So I don't know. I'm going to start again and try to catch up on the side stuff and get some more story that way. Maybe unlock some other stuff. But so far, I'm kind of meh on it.
Well, and even with 3 didn't have like a super timer, but you had to beat the game in so many days.
Right.
And that did give you got to a point where you're like, oh crap, I forgot that there's a timer and I got to get moving.
Oh, you could fail.
Yeah, and you could, and you could get to a point to where you knew you were going to fail no matter what. So, but the great thing about 3 was I could jump in with a couple people and we could just go mowing people down.
Right.
And that was the beauty thing. So,
Cool thing about 4, I will say, to give 4 its props, it's a lot of zombies and a lot of action and a lot of stuff, and it runs and it looks nice, nice by those standards, I guess, and runs better than the others.
Ran better than 3?
Yeah.
Nice. By the way, I asked Justin in the chat room about whether or not that PS Pro was his first PS console or if he upgraded, and he did upgrade because he wanted to get some of the enhancements. He did say he was surprised about some of the reports of frame rate issues, as he's not really seeing them, is what I'm gathering. But he has a 4K TV, so upgrading for him was...
Yeah.
Which I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Totally understand. If you have a 4K TV, I can see it. I don't.
Yeah, that's
So-
why I upgraded to the Xbox One S. The 4K TV. I might as well use it.
Right.
Right. if I get a 4K TV, I'll probably upgrade to a Pro. But right now, as I keep saying, I'm so perfectly happy with what I have. I'm just getting so old that
What you do is you knock it over accidentally and tell your wife, "Oh, guess we're going to go shopping for a 4K TV."
yeah, and then she goes, "Nope, you could just watch TV up here." So, all right.
Hey, you got to knock that one over then too.
So since we're on Pro consoles, we'll move over to the next item on the list, which encompasses the Scorpio and such. So, how do I?
Shaking his head already, like, how am I going to start this?
Yeah.
With Rocket League, that's how.
Right.
Always playing Rocket League.
Rocket League.
She's playing it right now beside me.
The fun thing about having interviews as much as Microsoft execs have, and I have great respect for them, as I have great respect for the guys at Sony, the guys at Nintendo. I truly do. I respect what they do. I'm not, starstruck by them. If I love the people that, but trust me, I'd love the game with Phil Spencer. He follows me on Twitter and on Xbox, and I'd love to jump in and game with him one day because he plays games like everybody else. I just know people who are just overly starstruck by these guys, and to me, they're just heads of game companies. I mean, and it could be me being desensitized by E3s and all of my time, hanging around these people, and it just makes you, just these are just people just like you. I mean, I'm a manager of an IT firm. Nobody walks up to me and lavish praise on me because I save network. I keep people's networks running. But I'm always somewhat amused when they interview and when they talk, because I've never seen a company like Microsoft that can say 5 different things and keep everybody confused. And I'm going to give you this one. So, not long ago, a couple of months ago, I would imagine.
Story time.
Yes. I'm pretty sure Phil Spencer said in an interview that the Scorpio was going to be a premium product, right? Do I remember this correctly?
Yeah, I remember that.
All right. Going to be a premium product. And thusly would be premiumly priced. So people went nuts with, well, this thing's going to cost $800. This thing's going to be $600. We were all, I think we
struck to buy one.
Yeah, I think we were all at the $599 range ourselves, weren't we?
Yeah, $599 to probably like $799 area, at the most.
Oh, no way.
Well,
you're talking about expected price on the Scorpio?
Well, pre this week.
Go ahead.
Pre this week.
Yeah, what we guessed beforehand, like
right.
Oh yeah, beforehand. Yeah, I was at $599.
Right. When Phil said it was a premium product, it was going to be a premium product. We were all saying about $600.
Not me.
What were you saying? Because you haven't been on the podcast long.
It's true. I don't think it goes above 500 and sells. I think it's suicide to go anywhere above 500.
Okay. All right. Now you
$499.
All right, but you've maintained that since they announced it, right?
From day one, from the E3.
Good. Okay. So I wanted to make sure that wasn't post interview with us gamers. So we come to this week, and Phil is talking about the usual stuff. They're very happy with the Xbox One S sales, and they should be. It's done extremely well. If you were to believe what one news site Microsoft-centric news site says, even with the PS4 Pro, they kept up in November. You can never, nobody puts out numbers, so you have no idea how accurate that is. And anytime you talk about our industry insiders, I tend to twitch like this because there's honestly no such thing.
Right.
So
They could have just talked to some guy that was, just outside their building at the time. Hey, do you know what the sales numbers are? And he just throws out a couple numbers and
right.
oh yeah, okay, let's go, write up an article on that.
Yeah. So Microsoft is talking to in this interview, and they start talking about everything from HoloLens and VR and where they want to be. And then they talk about Scorpio, and he basically now says that the Scorpio is going to be priced in the console space. So it's going to have a console price. Now, this, of course, sent people into a tizzy, because now you've heard talk of, oh my God, it's getting downgraded. Oh my God, it's not going to be powerful. And so while Microsoft tends to do this to themselves, to be quite honest with you, what do we make of this? And I want you guys first, and I'll give mine.
Okay.
What is number one, what is a console price? And two, what does that mean for the hardware that's actually going to come out next year, and how it's going to affect what Microsoft can do with the Xbox One and that whole thing? And Nels Coney, by the way, says, shout out to my telescope in the background. So what's up, Nels Coney? All right, and of course, before you get
not
started,
gaming related, get it out of there.
Juan, before you get started, of course, we also want the chat room to chime in on this too, now that they know what Phil has said, and we'll get their thoughts in as well. So go ahead, Juan.
Okay. First, real quick, I want to say that you're right about their ability to muddle messages really well, but I think part of that plays into with the way that the gaming media now works, and not in a biased sense, but just with anybody, to take whatever the last thing out of their mouth was and make it the headline. No context, whatever. Just, he said this now. And so, whatever. But console space price is not more than 500. It's pretty well. I mean, we can talk about, PlayStation was more powerful or this or that, but really, I fully believe that in 2013, aside from backlash nonsense, price was a deciding factor in 2013. And I think Microsoft didn't fail to learn that lesson. And, at 500 or $499, that's a premium console. People won't pay more than that. So, that'd be, if they consider asking a lot, that'd be asking a premium, right?
Yeah.
As far as what it does for the hardware, he's said within the last couple hours, I think, that no changes are coming to the hardware from what they announced. So the specs they announced, and I don't know why anyone would have thought that they would have backpedaled on the 6, or on the teraflops or whatever, because teraflops. But to think that they would actually change it to something less. I mean, in what universe would that happen? That'd be pure suicide on a console war level, So no, I don't. He said there's no changes. I'm thinking maybe it could be Zen. It could be that Zen processor, and that's going to make a pretty big difference if it is. I think. Maybe they'll have to.
Zen, or kind of a precursor towards Zen.
Right. So it's something
could
custom.
be a custom processor, but
Let me, for purposes of being fair to the facts of the conversation, let me bring up the actual quote. And I want to make sure that everybody kind of sees what he said instead of what we're interpreting that he said. We can interpret it, of course, which that's what we're doing now. But I want people to understand exactly what he said,
Right.
so that we can kind of get a handle on it. So his quote was, "When you talk to me about Scorpio, the term I use about the architecture isn't the 6 teraflops, which is obviously what we've announced. It's balance." Now, if you remember, guys, and this is where we can discuss and translate. They talked about balance with the Xbox One. So I just want to keep that in the back of your mind. Really what it is, you want a platform that is balanced between memory bandwidth, GPU power, your ability to move memory and amount of memory around in ways that are more inhibiting to the performance of your game than absolute teraflops on any one individual pieces. And it goes on. Like, I want Scorpio to be at a console price point. I am not trying to go and compete with a high-end rig. And then because we're building one spec, we're able to look at the balance between all the components and make sure it's something we really hit that matters to consumers and gamers. What that means is what we're trying to figure out. And I think what caught people was that the Xbox One, the technical fellows that had that big interview with Eurogamer, or with Digital Foundry or Eurogamer, whichever one of their divisions it was. I know they're the same thing. They spoke exactly like that. Why did they have the ESRAM instead of just having the memory pool? Why did they have to have that? And they talked about balance. They talked about that kind of thing. And I think that kind of people remember that when they read something like this. And I can't say that I blame them for that. If you're looking for Scorpio to be, I know a lot of people that are looking for this console to be the big savior. I think it's ridiculous. You know how I feel about that. But that, whether I feel it's ridiculous or not doesn't matter to anybody anymore. So, this is something that all of a sudden people are remembering 2013 again, and I think that caught people's attention. So with that, I will relinquish the floor back.
Well, I think it all stands. I still think that if they're talking a $499 price point, that's a premium. And I don't think they're suicidal enough to go above that. And so, I think that they've got pockets. They're willing to. I think that I would wager that they're willing to take a hit to get it on the market. I think they learned from not doing so with the Kinect, because I think if they would have eaten the cost of including the Kinect, that entire 2030 thing would have been different.
And I agree with you on that. I've maintained that too. That was a mistake for them to.
So, yeah, I think it's with a fresh launch, or a new SKU hitting. I don't think they're gonna pull any punches. I think they're gonna not change it, and it's gonna come out at a price that's gonna be attractive, because they want the market share that they don't have right now.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Jason?
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe $499 maximum price, but I really like to see it maybe about $399. But of course it can do their different hard drive size. I'm thinking they should start off with at least a 1 terabyte, nothing lower than that. Games nowadays are just filling up your hard drive. I got a 2 terabyte external, and it's almost full. So.
How big a hard drive thing can be in this thing?
Yeah, I'd like to see at least, like I said, 1 terabyte. That'd be nice. That'd be the base model. $399
for minimum though.
Yeah, I'd like to see a $399 price point, but I think it will be up to probably $499 starting. Anything more than that, I think they're just kind of shooting themselves in the foot again. So.
Well, yeah. I don't think it can be. Plus, I think we have to keep in mind that we're talking about by the time this thing launches, if it launches next holiday, even though I still think it's ridiculous that we're launching 2 new consoles within before the 5-year mark of a generation. It's still going to be 4 years.
Yeah, but it's iterative console, so it's not a brand new one.
I know.
And I think it boils down to the fact that the ones we got were kind of half steps. I can't remember who said it. I think I wish I could remember who made the point, but I think someone that I was either reading or listening to had the notion that neither one of the manufacturers thought that consoles really had a very bright future. I think that they kind of tested the water with what they put out here, and then I think I see it in like the remasters, because the first part of this generation there were so many remasters and not all that much new IP from anybody, and I think it was. I think that plays into it too. The whole we're not really sure how where the state of consoles are, and then bam, huge success. Okay, now we're going to bring something beefier, because when you look at like the Xbox, the 360, the PS2, PS3, all of those were like pretty high end pieces of gear at their launch. But these consoles that we have now, the new the 4 and the plain 4 and the OG Xbox One. They weren't really that. They were kind of half obsolete from the get.
They were mid-range.
Yeah.
Right.
They weren't built to. I mean, I think that there was a disconnect between console and PC, and they're always going to be, because PC is always going to iterate, and that's just it. PCs are iterative by their very nature. Consoles are not. So this is new, but I don't know. And again, I'm getting older, so I don't relate to it, and apparently it doesn't seem to matter because it's doing well enough to. And I know an equal number of people who are just stoked to get a Scorpio, and they don't even know what's in it yet, and they're absolutely.
Excitement is building.
Yeah, they're absolutely bonkers for it. I think
what's in it?
E3 is gonna.
I can tell you what's in it.
6 teraflops.
Nope. What's in it is everything I love about my Xbox One with more power. That's enough. That's what I'll have my library. Like I said before about ecosystems, I'll have my library, I'll have my trophies, I'll have my friends on my friends list. I'll have my Design Lab controller that looks all awesome and clean with my name tag on it and my gamer tag. All that and more power.
And that cup lost a donut.
Well, and as long as you and I could play together, being on 2 separate consoles, probably, you guys have. I've never been the guy that buys the high-end PC stuff anymore. I mean, I used to, but
yeah,
I don't do that anymore. So, there's going to have to be a damn compelling reason for me to get a Scorpio. Because again. It's the same thing. If I was made of money and I could afford it, sure. I just go out and get a Pro, go out and get a PS4, PSVR, go out and get a Scorpio. Not all of us could do that. So while I understand that there's a market for it, and I know a lot of people who are chomping at the bit for it, I'm gonna have to have a compelling reason to get away from the consoles I have. And I do wonder, being that HTK, you and I could kind of speak to this a little bit. Where's the plateau from, of diminishing returns when it comes to this much power? Are we just doing this to try to keep up with the TV and the resolution of the TV, or are we really? I mean, how much more can you do on the fidelity front? Because we're obviously not doing anything on the gameplay front. We're not doing anything with AI. All this crap is basically about GPU power and how much graphics and resolution. I mean, HTK, tell me if I'm wrong, but are we yet hitting a plateau where just spending money just to get power doesn't really get you back as much as it used to in a generational jump in graphics?
Maybe for the Pro and a Scorpio, we still have that. But the ones after that, like another 4 years from now, I don't think we're having 8K TVs. So we're not doing it for, for the amount of pixels to push out. So maybe at that point we might plateau. I don't know. Unless VR kicks off, becomes like the craziest thing, and we need a lot of power for it.
I wonder if that's why they're banking on VR. Maybe maybe them and Oculus and HTC and
For a second, I thought you were going to say an HTK.
And
Like, what have you got in on this HTK?
I just wonder if they're going to push VR so heavy going forward because they know there's only so much. To me, there's only so much more you can do. How much? I mean, really, graphically, how much better can we get than we're getting now? Honestly, if we're totally being honest. Juan, you're one that's waiting for the Scorpio next year. So what are you expecting out of it that you're not getting now? That's going to be such a leap that it begs you to get the console.
It's going to be in the lighting. It's going to be in the better anti-aliasing solutions they'll be able to run, and it's going to be in the performance. Give me those stable frame rates. That's what I really want. I mean, as far as making games look better, yeah, there are things we can do to make them better than where we're at now, and there'll always be tweaks and things that'll get better, even if they start to diminish. But you look at something like, The Witcher, even on the Xbox One, it's a really gorgeous game. I don't know that I need it to be crazy more gorgeous than that, but give me those stable frame rates. That's king.
Yeah, stable frame rates, draw distance, so no pop in.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
so
don't you love that pop?
Textures
Nice.
that are always crisp, but not like when you get close, they get more crisp.
okay, so what we're looking at is a console that can keep up with the game engines.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. I can accept that. That's that, and you have to be into that. You have to want that. If you do want that, that's great. If you want to, if you care enough about that, I'm playing Battlefield 1, and I can't, I can't see.
Looks amazing no matter what.
Better it would be. Like how many times are we in a party and I'm playing Gears of War 4 and I'm going, holy crap, how is this game doing this? How is this game? How is this game
that
performing?
about every game pretty much that has come out this year that you've been playing, that there's something about them that, it's just wow,
It's been a good year for that. I remember playing the first chapter, the first act of the Halo 5 campaign and being all like, wow, it's pretty impressive. And yeah, do you have Digital Foundry talking about the costs and showing zoomed in photos of things that are in the background and at a lesser resolution or frame rate, in some distant background. You don't pick up any of that if you're just playing them.
No, I can tell you, I don't. And I mean, I remember when I booted up Uncharted 4, and all I can do is just gawk at the screen, and I'm like, wow, this is just incredible. And I said the same thing about Tomb Raider. Look how good this looks. Look how and like I say with Gears, I just kept saying, how in the world is this game staying this solid with all this stuff going on? When you get those wind flares and then the lightning storms, and that engine doesn't skip a beat. So all I can think of is, other than maybe bumping the frame rate to 60 frames per second,
yep,
what's a Scorpio really going to do for me that my Xbox One isn't doing now? Now that we're 3 years into the generation and people are getting their feet under them with their with game engines and stuff.
But the 60 thing, I mean, 60 makes objectively everything better. Everything's better in 60. It's just there's nothing that's not better in 60.
Yes, but how much of it is necessary?
I mean, what is necessary?
Yeah.
That's
right. It's debatable. I mean,
you're asking the wrong guy, because my last video was Desert Strike on the Genesis. So I got some 480 action going on there. About
Nice.
not necessarily always a stable frame rate, but whatever. It's badass. I love that game. So
The
what's
game was
necessary?
fun.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
Right. Who gets to determine? No, yet objectively, a game that runs at 60 frames, like, would I have less fun with? Would I have more fun with Forza Horizon 3 if it was 60 than I do now?
Yes.
I don't agree. I don't know that I agree with that. I don't know that I would have more fun with it.
I don't know. I have fun with it at 30 frames, so I don't.
I do too.
I mean, it would
Nope.
it would feel a lot better, but I'm sure you're still gonna have the same amount of fun.
Yeah.
The experience would be better at 60.
But is it tangible enough? I guess is my question. Like, look at Destiny. Destiny is 30 frames per second. Seems to be a very popular game to play.
Well, if it went up to 120 frames per second, that game still would not be fun for me.
There you go.
I don't like
I used
Destiny.
to, when we talked about resolution, when the whole resolution war crap was going on, I used to bring up The Amazing Spider-Man 2 all the time. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 by Beanox was 1080p. Does 1080p automatically make that game awesome? No, the game was horrible.
You sure it was
Yeah.
1080p?
So I mean, how much that was one of my examples to why I don't do a whole lot about frame rate, don't care a lot about or I'm sorry, resolution, don't care much about resolution. So it's going to have to be a lot more compelling for me for Scorpio, just like it has to be a lot more compelling for me for a Pro. And I could probably trade my PS4 in and pay $150 to get a Pro, but I mean, really, what? I don't know. I don't know what that compelling part would be for me, but I get it for you guys. I get it for you, Juan. Let's
Yeah, it's
see.
the same thing with sports cars, You have more horsepower. I mean, it's just your
Right.
feeling.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
yeah. No, I get it. Across the chat room, we do have some people who did chime in. I want to get their opinions in. Super Cooper had said he thinks there'll be a 500 gig model for 400, a 1 terabyte for 500, a 2 terabyte for 600.
Wonder why he thinks they're going to start off with 500.
I don't know.
I don't.
I don't know.
yeah,
I think they're going to bump it up.
Yeah, I think
seriously
the
think
500
they will put something bigger in.
Yeah, I think the next consoles aren't going to start with 500 gigs myself.
So there's no, you put 3 games on there and then you're out of space.
Yeah.
Because you
So-
got the operating system and all that on
Yeah.
there.
So, Nels Coney, my telescope agrees with these guys down here. There's probably going to be $499. Ricardo says 500 in the U.S., which might mean more than 500 in most places outside of America, and U.S. 1,000 where he lives, which is didn't he say Brazil?
Yeah, Brazil.
Yeah. So
Sounds right.
where everything is more
Everything's
expensive.
everything's more expensive here in Canada too. So.
And he thinks anything more than 500 in worldwide will fail. Let's see. And he agrees with you and I, Juan, that the OG Xbox being 500 was one of the reasons that the PS4 sold a lot more when released.
Yep.
I will always put that over power as well.
Yep.
Yeah, the price of that just for me. Let's see. Justin Brown did say he thinks Scorpio should be priced at 500. Genesis fan says 400 to 500. Nothing different from before. Let's see. Hardcore gamers will pay 500. Casuals won't pay more than 500. Justin says. Witty, our good buddy Witty, says he reckons 500, but he'll still be waiting as well. Let's see. And that covers everybody there. Well, Genesis fan 01 says the Pro is 1 terabyte at $399, so they could do that. But I think the Pro would be a bit more powerful. So I don't know. 400 would be a game changer, I would think.
Yep.
You guys agree with that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, here's another
400.
thing. We're like a year out, right? So even
Yes.
if they want to compete with PS4 Pro, that might drop some too by the time the Scorpio comes out.
Yeah, and I think they're already strategically looking at price drops.
You know
So-
what's really sad? My wife seems to be better at this tennis in the face than I am. She's getting all these crowns and stuff, and I'm sitting here going, I did get a crown for that level.
I think Shannon needs to have her very first Twitch stream.
She just got another crown.
I think she needs to Twitch stream that game. I think it's time. I think it's time we get her into NLG for real.
She's got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 now, and I'm like, really?
By the way, for those who
played,
don't
like,
know,
9 levels.
you'll see tennis. You'll see tennis in your face tomorrow up on the channel. The video's done. I'm just gonna upload it in the morning. You'll get to see what that game is all about.
I'm
Also,
better at Rocket League, so there.
Shut up.
let's see, my buddy Big Lou Ravens is in the room. He says 4K games will be real issues on a hard drive, which could be why they won't go with a 500 gig drive to start.
Oh yeah, considering what most games are like 30 gig plus now easily.
Yeah. Imagine if they're 50 to 60 to start. And,
I mean,
and then
what's
with
Halo
patches,
5 up to? Halo 5's up to like 100 gigs, I hear.
right? And then with
Each
patches,
time a new update comes out, there's like 10 plus 10
Yeah.
gigs, I think.
yeah, Halo's up to like
20
100
gigs.
gigs already. So
Imagine if that was 4K too. Holy jeez.
yeah. And so Big Lou Raven says he thinks $500 for the Scorpio
Now
as
she's
well.
pointing out every crown she's getting, like, look, I point.
And look how you couldn't get them.
Yeah, exactly. He's rubbing it all in there.
Oh, and Whitty will laugh his yits off if it's 400. They took the 4K Blu-ray to time out. So his yits. Oh man. Okay. So that's our Scorpio talk for today.
Don't go yits up.
Right. Go yits. All right. So let's move on now to the Nintendo news of the week. And there was Nintendo news. Ladies and gentlemen, we have had our very first official live actual sighting of an actual Nintendo Switch in action, in the hands of somebody on the Tonight Show. Reggie Fils-Amie.
And when you got
Serial
his hands
number?
on it,
Huh?
Serial number 00001.
Yes.
yeah, when he got his hands on it too, he was excited like a child. You notice the excitement in his face, like, wow.
Oh, he loves
I get
that
to-
stuff.
I get to touch this. I'm the first one, outside of Nintendo. He was
He
happy.
loves that stuff. Remember, he was one of the first ones to have Kudo Sonoda on in 2013 after E3. So I mean, he loves, and he's had, he's like, it's funny for all the clueless.
Oh, this one's a little harder. Here, I'll just show you how to beat the level.
For all the funny clueless gamer stuff that Conan O'Brien does, it really should be Jimmy Fallon doing that, because he's a sucker for gaming. Like he's a big time lover of games and stuff. So yeah,
Nothing
he
wrong
went
with that.
nothing at all. He went nuts when Reggie brought out the Switch, and he didn't even start with that. He had to tease him first
Yeah, with the Mario Run
with the
first.
Super Mario Run.
Yeah.
So,
And he
by
had-
the way,
he had
what
the switch under that little
under
coin
the
box.
block? Yeah.
Under the coin. I was sitting there thinking, yeah, he's probably got the switch under that.
What? Give me your quick thoughts on Super Mario Run. I actually have an opinion on that, but I want to see if you guys do, or if you even care.
I think the major roadblock for me will be the price of $10.99. I think it is.
The 10 or is it 8?
I thought it was $10.99. I
Ugh.
think.
That sounds right to me.
I never looked it up, so I have no idea.
But is it one game or is it like three games?
it looked like one game, or at least what they were.
Well,
showing.
yeah, but I think there's some components that they haven't shared yet. I believe. I don't know. Maybe somebody in the chat will know.
Well, they said they didn't want to do something that was free to play. They didn't want to do another, Pokemon Go or
Right. Which I think is good.
yeah. And I know it doesn't it hits iOS first. It's not even going to come out for Android until next year. So I'm not even going to get a chance to try it until later.
Chat said $10.
Ugh. All right, so we have a $10 game. So, but there's going to be no microtransactions. They did say that.
Oh, that's
Right.
good.
And then the first world, I think, the first 4 levels, I believe, you can play for free.
Okay.
So at least you get to try it out before you buy it.
Yes.
That's good.
That could be, that could be worth something, because that's a hard sell.
Yeah. But they're going to sell Tom
That's Mike.
Yes,
for $10.
but they also did say, not they. There was an analyst that said that they will probably make half the money they made on Pokemon Go.
That's not doing too bad.
No, it's not. And of course, Mitomo was doing really well as well. I don't know anybody who's still doing Mitomo.
Me what?
But while we're talking about it, I'll just show you. This is the Super Mario Run site. I'll probably get. Let me turn that off. We don't get flagged. You know how Nintendo loves for you to not show their stuff on screen. But it's coming out 12/15 on the iPhone and iPad, and then in 2017 for the Android. It looks good. It actually looks really cool as far as graphically. It doesn't look. It looks like a $10 game. It's just, who's going to buy it for $10 and who's going to, I don't know. It's not a standard Mario game in that you can really control it. So
Yeah.
how well is it going to do? And then it has to be on it's an internet only game. So the internet's got to be running while you play it. So does that mean it's not going to work while you're in airplane mode?
Yeah.
Yep.
There,
I have 2 thoughts.
I can see that they have check-ins, maybe every 24 hours or whatever.
No check-ins. No.
Yeah.
Check-ins are evil. What are the guys on the sub going to do?
Yeah,
2 thoughts.
exactly.
He should keep his
Think
eyes
about
on
the
the
submarine guys.
Right.
On
Those poor
torpedoes.
submarine bastards. I always hated that question. Driving back to 2013 again for a moment. I hated that submarine question because the person who asked that question has no idea what life on a submarine is like. If he thinks that any of them have a fucking console, excuse me, my language, on a submarine. There's no consoles on submarines, of somebody's. Like there might be one, maybe, in the mess area or somewhere, like a community thing, but no one has space on a submarine for anything like that. So the question was a loaded nonsense question based on garbage that he should have just said, "Get on my face" when he got asked that question. Should have been the PR response to that one. You're an idiot. Go away and go come up with a better question. But anyway, going back to what I was thinking about with the Mario Run, 2 points there. One, the day I pay $10 for a mobile game is the day I quit gaming. It's just never going to happen. 2, I think it could be kind of brilliant actually, because when you look at Pokemon Go and also I think the 3DS benefited from Pokemon Go, and the Pokemon game benefited from Pokemon Go. They may be trying for something similar like that, where you're going to introduce these kids, because who's got kids can tell you they don't care about consoles. They have the tablets, they have their smartphones, so they see this is getting them introduced to Mario, and then you have the Switch coming out after that, and here's a Mario that's even better looking, and you have full control over, and you've got your foot in the door with the kids who wouldn't even think about a console.
true.
And they're like, "Hey, Mom, Dad, I want that Mario game that's bigger and better than what I love on my phone that I shouldn't have because I'm 12." But whatever.
You fucker. Shut up, please.
Maybe they released that game so you can play that while you're still looking to find an NES mini classic mini.
You haven't found one of those yet? Jeez.
No.
Or have
Toys
you
R
even
Us
been
said they
trying?
had some and they were on sale.
Yeah, that really.
Walmart had them on sale for like $250.
Toys R Us had them for like 49 something, $50.
Well,
45. Pardon, 45. And it's like, do you even have them in stock? What the heck?
Yeah, I think they're getting them in like 2s and 4s. They're not getting any numbers. But I really
They're
think
not gonna
that
get me any achievements.
I think they learned a lesson from
You're not gonna get
the
any
carryover
achievements
from
because I already
Pokemon
got
Go.
we'll see. I don't know. I think that they're doing what they said they were going to do, which was invest in mobile. I would have rather have seen an actual full-on Mario game, if I'm being honest. I would have rather have not seen basically basically Mario Flappy Birds is what we're getting in a sense.
But do you think it's just testing the waters to see, how well it does on those devices versus cutting into their own handhelds? And if, it doesn't seem to be cutting into their handhelds, they might release some more full-fledged Mario
Could be.
Possibly.
games?
Well, enter the Nintendo Switch, and that's where I think they're going to bridge that gap.
No.
So, and again, at the risk of Nintendo having a conniption, I'm going to show a picture. So, Jimmy Fallon actually got to touch the thing, and
Actually
he
play it. That
he
wasn't like superimposed gameplay.
no, it was not. In fact, the camera went over his shoulder and showed him playing. And so,
You know what's funny? Look at Reggie's face. It's almost like this is our only one. Don't break it.
give me a second. I want to get some other. So here it is. Oops. Let me do it this way. I just want to look at the image. So
Here's
he
what the picture-
got over the shoulder, and there's Jimmy. That's real Jimmy hands, and he's playing.
Real Zelda.
And he's playing Zelda, and it worked. It worked as advertised. If we're, he,
Reggie's
pulled-
getting a little thin up top.
a little bit. He
Joining
pulled
the club.
the
I'm a
switch
part
out of
that
the
club.
he pulled the switch out of the dock, and it immediately went to the screen, and it worked just as advertised. And he was playing with the Pro controller. Reggie was, while he was playing Zelda here. I mean, this was a live demo with the actual product. I had to watch it a couple times because I was actually really impressed. I still have questions, as I know we all do, but I thought this was a genius place to show it.
Yeah.
And give me your thoughts. And did everybody watch the video?
I watched it.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay, Juan, then you can't give us your thoughts.
Well, I guess the thought would be, I like the notion of the thing. I'm probably going to be on board, regardless. So I didn't go out of my way for it.
Let me see if there's any other. There we go. So now, and Reggie did remind people that all the processing power of the Switch is in the actual device itself, and there's nothing in the dock that's going to give it extra power.
Yeah, the dock just puts it up on the TV.
Right. And then the Pro controller is going to be the Pro controller, and then you have, of course, you can get the controller to just slide the bars down into. And of course, he put it on the kickstand and he took the little controller off and he was doing that. But I put this in the Discord room, and I want to get people's thoughts on this, not only with us, but in the chat room. I no longer kind of view this as a console. I think of this as a handheld with a docking station. So, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's different. But I want to get your thoughts. I mean, does it? I'm going with handheld with dock.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mike.
Yeah,
I think I've said it before when the first images were released. It's like, yeah, to me, it's a dockable handheld.
Yeah, that stands to reason. But since they're giving me the Pro type controller that looks very much like an Xbox controller, you know, I don't think that if I have that kind of controller, tangibly, how different is it from just being a console that point?
Yeah, I'm looking at it like, yeah, it's a handheld, and you know they want to kind of get the people that like playing in front of their TV, you know, sit at home and play in front of their big screen. So hey, let's just put it in this thing that looks like a toaster, and boom, you got your game up on your TV, and you just pick up your controller, and away you go. It's innovative, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, it's pretty cool. Like yeah, exactly. I mean, you just take it on the go when you need to go.
Right, we know it has. It's got mobile parts.
I still want that rooftop party though.
Yeah, yeah.
Where do I sign up for that? Where do I sign up?
There ain't no party like
At Mike's house. He's got.
Ain't no party like a rooftop party.
Yeah.
Where everybody's waiting for you to bring your Switch.
Hot tub.
No.
Hey, hot tub on the rooftop. That'd be nice. We're gonna get pizza up there too, are we?
Yeah.
That's right.
If they deliver that high.
Pizza and wings. Yeah, they're gonna deliver it drone style.
I think so.
Drone style. That's awesome. So it doesn't mean that I'm not kind of excited for it. So they have January, what was it? January 17th was their big thing. Their big blowout.
I got the 12th in my head.
Yeah, I think so, right? Something.
Yeah, the 12th, Jason.
I got the 12th in my head for some reason. Maybe I got something else that day, and it's just coming to mind. I don't know. Somebody will have to look it up.
Hang on.
Yeah, the 12th sounds familiar.
January 13th.
13th.
Hands-on event in New York and on the 13th. Oh, and on the 12th, they're going to reveal the price and release date.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So.
Do you think at that point pre-orders are live?
Oh, most definitely.
So, yeah.
What do you guys think this thing's going to cost?
Less than $3.
I'm thinking $299 maybe, because.
Yeah, I think it's going to be $299. I don't know. And anything less will be, it's a good surprise.
Yeah, I'm hoping like $229 or something, but I don't think that's going to be in the cards.
$299 would do it though. I'd be in for $299.
Yeah.
Yep. Me too.
Still kind of expensive when you compare with, PlayStation 4 or Xbox One.
The question, the question is this
it's
built
not directly competing, but it's competing for your dollars?
Yes. I could tell you, my 12-year-old and my 7-year-old will fight over this thing. No doubt. I don't even think this. I mean, the Nintendo Switch. Well, all due respect to Jimmy Fallon, who's probably close to our age, HTK. I don't think the Switch itself is meant for us. It's not meant for you and I. If it was, we would have been in the commercial.
Right.
Well, true.
HTK was busy that day. That's why he didn't get the curtain call for the
that's
commercial.
what it is. That's what it is. Well, I don't think that the Switch is meant for us. I think the Switch is meant for... Honestly, I think it's meant for a younger crowd. I know they're going to try to put some mature games on it for the hardcore gamer, but how many hardcore gamers are going to be walking around with this thing? Honestly, how many people are really, I think those
people pay for fucking
maybe
Dark
those
Souls.
are the ones that put it on their TV. I don't know.
Well, but aren't these the same people who want power? You know, this thing is not going to be as powerful as an Xbox One or PS4. Period. The Tegra chip is not that strong. You know, it's also cartridge based or card based. So I mean, how much? You know, you're not getting The Witcher 3 on this. I don't care what anybody says. You know, if you're getting Skyrim on it, you're not getting the remastered Skyrim.
Right.
You're getting that Zelda game looks like it does because that's what it's going to be able to handle to make it open world. That game does not look like it would be you know, that game on a PS4 or Xbox One would look a whole hell of a lot better. So we're talking about a console that's kind of built differently as Nintendo does. We always talk about this. Nintendo goes to the beat of their own drummer. For better or for worse. Worked with the Wii, didn't work with the Wii U. I think it's going to work with the Switch.
I do too.
You know, I don't want to make it sound like I'm bad, you know, bashing the Switch, because chances are I'm going to have one.
Yeah.
At some point in time, eh?
Well,
No,
I
I
think it's
think-
definitely going to sell on hype and stuff, just like the NES Mini, Classic Mini. You know, hard to find
Well,
because
and
everybody wants one, and it's different than different from the Wii and Wii U.
well, and the Mac of all says got to see some games. I agree with that. Got to see
Yeah.
some games.
Game sell.
They're you know, I fully still maintain that Nintendo's catalog is second to none. They have to utilize that catalog.
Yeah, they got a vast majority of things they can, bring out, but they just got to bring them out.
So, and Justin Brown says they sold it as a console. The commercial sold it as being console. But Justin, I want to know from you guys: do you think it's a console? That's what I'm looking at. Also, some of the stuff we're getting from the chat room. Big Lou Raven says the Switch he thinks is going to be $250. Justin says $249. Noam Dar says $250. He says $350 for one with the Pro controller and a game.
Yeah, could be.
Let's see. And then Mac, of course, says got to see some games. So
Here's another reason why they might want to sell this as a console, because of their 3DS being a handheld. Otherwise, you have two handheld SKUs
right.
that are different and maybe competing. I don't know.
No, it's a good point. And I remember way back in the very beginning when we were all speculating what this thing was actually going to be, back when we were in the speculation phase, and they said that it was going to have a handheld component to it, that I kind of thought the handheld part would be a 3DS, and then it would, the 3DS would dock with the console or be the controller for the console, but not be the console itself. This is, I guess because you take it, I mean, you can play it docked, but I think they're going to try to sell this as something you mostly play when you're not at home. Or am I wrong?
I think they're trying to hit both. If it was mostly at home, I'm not sure they would. Or sorry, if it was mostly away, I'm not sure they would bother with the Pro controller
Or a dock?
Yeah.
No. It just seems like every one of those people in that commercial, it just, if you watch the original commercial, more time was spent
Traveling with it.
than it being docked.
Yeah, I think it's like one of those things. They first created the handheld part, and then they thought, well, can we get this on the big screen, And then they created the dock.
Yeah, well, I mean, they'd have to show that off, though. I mean, that's the party piece. That's the part that sets it apart from. So that's why you get it instead of an Xbox or a PlayStation, because it can do that and they don't. So I mean, it's gonna be stated up in the advertising for that reason alone.
Right. Well, I mean, the good, I guess the thing that was nice was we actually got to see it in motion, and I think it was necessary. I think that you have all this talk of all the stuff that came out of PSX. Then you had, of course, you got Microsoft talking about the Scorpio, and you got these guys battling it out. Nintendo had no presence in Black Friday sales, had no presence in.
That's because they, only put out a few of those NES minis. So
Right.
they were all sold out before then.
Yeah. So right now their press is negative. They're either not at all, or you've got guys out there that are slamming Nintendo for not stocking the NES Mini. And on top of that, that's the big thing that everybody's talking about from Nintendo right now is the NES Mini. So
Everybody can get it.
well, yeah, from our perspective as old guys, yes, that is a great, wonderful thing. But from a business standpoint of Nintendo and having a new device that they're going to try to sell, not having anybody talk about it is not a good thing. And when your fan base is talking about a retro console more than they're talking about your upcoming console, that's not a good thing. So with that, I think that this was a necessary move for Reggie to do. It was the right place to do it because Jimmy Fallon could get his schoolboy hype going, which is it's genuine. It's not, he does not fake that. That is genuine hype, and that's genuine giddiness. And of course he's got that goofy smile and that charm that could really be what sells it to his audience. And then you had finally some actual, where you got during the VGAs, you got Chuckles and his friend playing the Wii U version of Zelda. Here you have Jimmy Fallon, arguably to a larger, much, much larger audience, playing the Switch version of Zelda and showing off what happens, in real time. That, hey, when you pull this thing out of the dock, it actually does this, and we weren't just using smoke and mirrors for our commercial, for our YouTube commercial. And I think that was a very good, necessary thing to do and place to do it, and it got us talking about it, right?
Yep.
So that's the Nintendo side. So we covered all three today, which is a rarity.
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
not often that all three make news.
It's true.
I like it. And look, in January, we're going to have more Nintendo to talk about. Come E3, we're going to have more Microsoft to talk about. We've got games from Sony to talk about. There's lots going on. 2017 is going to be huge. Absolutely huge. So, and I got a couple of surprises for our listeners coming up.
Ooh,
You guys know about them already. We are we're going to take another shot at getting some, like we enjoyed having guests on, developer guests and things like that, and we have some that are expressing interest in getting on with us, and a couple of them are kind of big. So
Exciting times.
Yep, I'm not going to give anything away quite yet. People are just going to have to stay tuned, and when we get them scheduled and we get the dates locked down, then I'll let everybody know. But I've already got verbal commitments from 2, and they're both pretty big deals. So I'm looking forward to it. You guys, HTK, well, you two won because you're in the Discord room. You guys know who I'm talking about already.
Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah.
So HTK is smiling because this is going to be a big one.
That's It's gonna be good.
And it's going to be a good one.
He's tickled pink.
Yes. Tickled pig. So, all right. We're at 11 o'clock, so we're 2 hours in. I know there's a couple of other small pieces of news, and I think after the first of the year, Juan, we'll do your Juanies. I want to see what you come up with your awards.
Yeah, I went through and I just looked at the games that I played specifically. So, I can call it bias or whatever, but we're just gonna go straight with just things that I played this year, including backwards compatibility category as well. But yeah, a couple different little side things like favorite mechanic of the year within a game, soundtrack and visuals, or OST and visuals, of course, best indie, best new IP. Game of the year. I didn't play a lot of role-playing games, so I kind of shied away from that because I didn't have that many, contenders really.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Of course, and part of that's because I think of role-playing games in a very traditional sense, like the Games of the Gold game Earthlock, Festival of Magic, which is a really solid Norwegian Japanese role-playing game.
What's it called?
It's Earthlock Festival of Magic. I don't know that it's really groundbreaking in any way. I don't know if it's necessarily right home to mama about how awesome it is, but it's really solid. It's a good throwback to the JRP turn-based kind of thing. And it's an NRG RPG. It's Norwegian.
Okay.
Aside from that, the only little bits that I have picked up, aside from what we were all talking about just then, Ark, which is a game that I love, is making its way to the PlayStation. So PlayStation peeps should get on that because it's, I think it's possibly the best of the survival type games, and they're getting a pretty decent deal on the price, I believe, on the whole shebang. You get the whole thing, including the Scorched Earth. There's a package deal for that, which is, I don't think, a pretty decent price. Also, what else was it? Oh, yeah, Elite Dangerous, which is another game I've got hundreds of hours in. It's fantastic space flight game. Kind of a counterpoint in style to No Man's Sky because it's not procedural at all. It's all one giant map that everyone plays in, and it's a real map of the galaxy. So, it's a shared world with multiplayer, so you can see other people, and it's there's no proceduralness to it at all, which is awesome.
Nice.
But yeah, that's a great game, and it's going to be pro patch supported. And the pro trailer, if it's if that trailer is any indication, it's going to be a real looker on that system.
Yeah. So a couple of those things, by the way. Yeah, Elite Dangerous and Ark going to PS4. Good games that those guys are getting. I know you've got experience in both of them, and I know HCK and Jason. Did you play Ark?
Oh yeah, I got Ark.
Yeah. So, I guess it's no longer in preview, so that's why.
I don't know.
Xbox One been updated yet with achievements or not yet?
I know they had announced they were doing it. I don't know if it's actually landed yet.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I had misreported last week that Everspace got a patch that added ships to it for the game preview program on Xbox. The patch landed on Steam. They're still working on getting it out for the Xbox.
Nice.
But both those games, both of them, got tons of hours in both of them. They're great. And I think they're definitely something that any PlayStation fans who follow me should look into because really enjoyable experiences, both of them.
Yeah, I think that they're good games to have, and PS4 owners are gonna enjoy them a lot. And there is we do have some Elite. Do we have Elite Dangerous? No, we have Everspace on our. You have some Elite Dangerous on your channel though, right?
Yeah, I have some Elite Dangerous that I've done. One of my favorites is just a little flyby of a black hole I did a couple weeks back. But yeah, and one of these days when I, get ordered to my life, I'd like to do kind of a basic tutorial. But those are all over the place too. That's one thing that's kind of kept me from doing is you can go over YouTube and it's been on Steam for long enough that you can find anything out there. But it's not a terribly new player friendly game. It's got a pretty steep curve to it, and I think that puts some people off. But if you can get around that, if you can navigate that, it's pretty rewarding.
Cool. Well, and your channel is on our favorites list, so definitely jump over and check that out. So
got the new series going for this page for our channel here with the Ninja Gaiden Black, which I'm really happy to be getting back into.
Yes, and those first two chapters are awesome. I watched it. It was really good. So, any other news you can think of?
No, that's about it for me.
Cool. Jason, anything else we did not bring up?
Actually, I just gotta talk about one little thing. When I went and got my Xbox One from EB Games, which is GameStop there, of course, they kept informing me, "Oh, your Kinect doesn't work with this one or whatever," right? But I knew the difference. I knew it does, right? I come home. Today I go online. I talk to Microsoft support. Give them my serial numbers, and just like that, they're sending me the Kinect adapter, no hassle. So big shout out to them for that.
Good looking out.
Nice.
Didn't take me 10 minutes. So, but I don't like how they're misinformed at these, game shops. Like I knew she was lying to me right away, or she didn't know.
I think it's more don't know.
But it's kind of frustrating when somebody tells you, "Oh, this is not going to work," but I've done my research beforehand. So
yeah, these are kids that work there.
Yeah,
not a kid. I think she was maybe 5 years younger than me.
Really?
Yeah.
Still kids. Come on.
Yeah, they're still.
Everybody's a kid compared to HTK.
Hey, thanks.
Nice. Peter?
News. Well, there were some the new tables for Pinball FX 2.
Oh yeah, the Bethesda
tables like Fallout, Skyrim, and Doom. Oh, those are like magnificent. Those are fantastic. The best tables for that pinball game.
Really, I really liked some of those. I can't remember which ones I had. I really liked some of the starter ones actually. Like what was the one with the ghosts? What's that first table?
I don't remember ghosts. I remember
or something.
It was the one with the wizard.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
It's pretty solid. But yeah, no, some of them were a little hit or miss. But yeah, those ones look really good. And didn't it get a VR update as well?
Don't know.
I heard that it's
they might have. I just don't know. Or they might be working on it. I don't. Yeah.
That'd be interesting too, because then you have the whole like standing at the table experience.
Yeah, but how can you lean on the table? You will fall on your face.
That's true.
Yes, you would. Or you would look really, really bad.
Yeah, true.
Looking like you're humping a table.
I think I saw somewhere I don't know if it was like a GIF or something where somebody was shooting virtual pool. It was leaning on the table and fell on his face. So,
that would be funny to see. I laugh at people's pain.
Oh, Super Cooper reminded us that the Forza expansion hits this Thursday.
Yeah. Oh, that would look mighty fine.
Yeah.
That snow expansion. It's snowing outside, so I guess the expansion came to my house a little early.
I mean, they had a little promo going, the video going. You didn't see a whole lot, but what they've shown so far was mighty fine.
Yeah, that's all mine.
Yep.
Plus, I have a $10 Bing rewards, so it'll only cost me $24.
Cool.
Nice.
I think it's $34.99, isn't it? That expansion.
Yeah, unless
Sounds
you
about
own the ultimate, then you get a $10 discount.
Which I don't.
$10.
$10.
Nice.
Save that $10 and get that Mario run. There you go.
There you go.
Oh, it's preloaded. I know.
And by the way, if anybody wants to watch some Mafia 3 footage, please go to our Twitch page, which is here, because unfortunately, YouTube decided it did not like HTK's video at all.
Oh.
So first it muted it and then it blocked it.
Like kill it with fire.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was so good that it
It
cannot be
was
shown.
so good.
It's so good it could not be shown to human eyes.
That was funny. And so I got like kind of freaked out too, because we just put up gameplay and stuff like that. We don't try to steal anything. And all I could think of was, holy crap, we got a copyright strike on our channel. Oh no. But thankfully it didn't actually do that. It just said, no, we're just not going to show your video. So if you want to go and see some Mafia 3 footage, if you are still on the fence about Mafia 3, it actually doesn't look like a bad game. Does it? It's not. Give me your thoughts on it real quick.
Yeah, so far so good. I mean, I haven't gotten that far in, but so I cannot say there's any repetition in missions. But I mean, the dialogue is really good. Gameplay is good too, and I had a good time.
Story?
Yeah, the story is really good, and it's fun to throw the guys in, in the lake so the alligators will eat them up.
Nice.
Nice. So if you want to see that, that's on our Twitch page. Check out some Mafia 3 footage. We got some actually really good stuff over on the Twitch page. Thanks to Rick Carey, our new guy certified, who's doing stuff for both his channel and ours. He's got some stuff up there too, and I might try to bring some of his Skyrim footage over to YouTube. Not all of it, but his naked dragon battles.
That is my idea.
I might have to bring that over so some of our YouTube people can see it. It's really funny.
Yeah, I just randomly told him to fight dragons with like no armor.
And he did.
He
Called it butt naked dragon fights.
Nice.
It was good. So I'm gonna have to bring some over. We got some other stuff that's gonna be coming up. I won Dead Rising 4, so I'll get some footage of that going. And Abzu, is that how?
Yeah, I bought that actually.
How are you liking it?
I only have a couple minutes in, so it was right before bedtime.
Screen.
So yeah, basically just to say what I did, it would even be difficult because I didn't really understand a lot of what I'd done at that point.
Okay.
But it's kind of like that kind of exploration, piecing together what's happening as you go. Really beautiful. I'm
looking forward to getting into it, and I'll stream or at least make some video of that as well. Maybe a walkthrough. I got a lot that I'd like to catch up on. So I may be, taking a little bit of time out of the party just to get. I really want to get King's Quest going again, and I really want to.
Yeah. Still need to play the last 2 chapters myself.
I got to play 2 through 5. So, I mean,
me too.
Okay.
And I want to do some Dead Rising. I want to do some Abzu. I want to do. I want to finish Jotun, and of course, some more Mantis Burn racing, and so I've got a lot of content I want to get to, and I'm going to try very hard to get that moving again. It's been difficult, and you guys, I mean, seriously, the 3 of you have been holding the channel up with content, and I love you guys so much for that, because it's been tough for me, but you guys have been cranking it out. And so, tomorrow we'll have the tennis in your face video, which is on Twitch. If you want to see it now, it's over on the Twitch channel. But tomorrow morning it'll be up on YouTube. I know we've had a little bit of Final Fantasy on Twitch, and Whitty says he's got some unmodded Skyrim gameplay on his YouTube channel.
Yeah, I got like the first half hour on mine too.
Yeah, so Madzu's channel and Whitty's channel, if you guys want to see some Skyrim, They've got it. Make sure you're following them on Twitter, and so we're gonna kind of in 2017 we're gonna ramp things back up again, and try to keep that regular gameplay content going. So what I need from you guys out there in internet land is to keep watching this stuff and keep liking the videos
And sharing it.
sharing them out, and getting people to hit that subscribe button, and give us that support so that we can start kind of leveraging that to get more content. We're buying all of our content right now, with some small exceptions. We're getting small indie games, and look, guys like 10 Tons and Pixel Maniacs, Vector Unit. We've got some great friends that have been supplying us with things to give content with, but we can't get big stuff yet.
90% of the stuff we buy.
Yeah. So which we do anyway, but
Right.
for us to really grow, we need your help. We need that right up there. We need that like button. We need that subscribe button. And if you're subscribed, thank you so much. We appreciate it. And we love you guys. Tell a friend. Tell them all about the NLG channel. And look, if you're interested in providing content, we offer a place. This is how these guys have been bringing content beyond their own channels, which they do such a great job with. We provide a place where if you don't want to manage your own YouTube channel and you don't want the muss and fuss that goes along with it, we love to have people come and bring us content. And I produce the videos, and Jason's produced some of his own videos, and Juan's produced some of his own videos. But any of the ones that come up on NLG, we've got the intro that you see and the avatar, and I take care of all of that. And I would be happy to take care of producing those videos for anybody who, like I said, if you want a place to go where you don't have to maintain the stuff yourself, come to us, because we'd be happy to host your content, and get it out to our subscribers, and that'll help us grow. That would help you, and then all around. So that's what we're hoping for, and we've got a good base now with you guys, and things going into 2017 are going to look really, really good. So I think that's everything. I don't have anything else myself, so I think we'll call it an evening. I know, Juan, you've got to work tomorrow, so I don't want to keep you up.
I'll be hitting the road a little early.
And maybe we could jump on and get a little gaming done, gentlemen.
Yeah, sounds good.
In fact, you guys in the chat room, tell you what, I'm going to drop my gamer tag into the chat room.
I'm surprised you don't have that on the description, Mike.
I need to get our gamer tag. I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start adding our gamer tags and our PSN names for those who have that. You guys want to game with us in a little while? To come to the after party.
The after party.
Yeah, I dropped my gamer tag earlier, as well as our on Xbox, our NLG club as well.
Ah, yes.
Got one new member.
Beautiful.
So,
and of course, for those of you on PS4, I'll give you the PSN name. The original NLG is mine, and we do have the original Next Level Gaming. Look for that as a PSN community, and please join that as well. So of course, we have I have all of our Twitter handles in our description. But there is the official NLG Twitter. Please follow that so that you can find out all about our great content from HCK and Madzu and Crazy Juan and Certified and myself. And you can also get all the news that you need. We retweet everything that comes out of official channels, from Microsoft, Sony, to Nintendo, to third party, to even indie developers. So if you want to get the skinny on what's going on in the indie development community, and we do have some great indie friends out there who we are going to get on the podcast very soon. Some of them are actually, most of them are overseas, so it makes it a little difficult time zone wise. So we're going to figure that out. And so you want to make sure you're absolutely following the NLG Twitter. That way, not only do you know when we go live with our podcast, which is Sunday nights at 9, but if we have any special podcasts to accommodate our friends from overseas, we'll do that. And of course, for the one that I'm thinking of, they are actually in that part of the world. So our special interview will be at a special time for that. Unfortunately, it will be 3 a.m. for him otherwise.
Right.
So that would be kind of tough. So our chat room, guys, I can't thank you guys enough every week. The regulars that are in, are our good friends, and a lot of them game with us, and we want to see you guys game. Some of you new guys want to see you coming in game with us too, because that's what this is about. This is about the gaming community, not just an Xbox community, not just a PlayStation community, not just a Nintendo community, but a gaming community. That chat room has been a delight for us since we started, and it's been absolutely wonderful to watch you guys interact with each other, talk, have great conversations, and just be gamers, just like we are, just gamers. And so to every one of you in that chat room, we love you so much, and we're glad that you're with us, and we're glad we're able to get your opinions into the podcast. We want you to keep coming back and keep interacting with us, and just keep being the great people you guys are. So, gentlemen, any last thoughts before we kick out?
Nope. Nothing here.
Yeah, I'm good too. I would like to do some more We Happy View videos, but it's a multiplayer and then the social aspect of co-op and stuff. It's taking up some more time than for single player. But as soon as I get a chance, I'll try to put up some more videos for We Happy View, because they just released another patch and they changed a couple of things. So I'm curious what they changed.
All right,
Nice,
awesome. You know what? I'm going to keep the chat room open after the the podcast. You can always chat afterwards. You guys can stay in there as long as you keep the screen up, and you're welcome to continue to talk after we're done. If people want to drop their gamer tags and PSN names in there, I'll make sure I get you guys added. Like Michael, your friend Michael just put his in there, so I'll get him added. In fact, since I'm sitting here with a second screen, I can open up the Xbox app and I can add them as we go.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the cool thing you can do.
Multitasking is such a hard.
It's such a hard. Well, it's sometimes I gotta admit, sometimes it's hard for me. I'd like to talk to you guys about us kind of maybe splitting up, taking things and topics and stuff, because I find myself, at least especially on a night like tonight, just saying and and not being able to collect a lot of thoughts, because I'm looking up things and I'm looking at the chat room to make sure everybody in the chat room is doing all right, and listening to you guys to make sure that we're keeping things going. And sometimes I got to admit, sometimes it's hard to keep all of that going at once. So
sure.
I'm ready for you guys to kind of help truly be the co-host of the
Turn
show.
around, we'll call it the Modcast.
The Modcast. The Mod Squad cast, and then we'll get sued. So anyway, thank you guys all for being part of the podcast. Thank you, my intrepid crew, my friends.
I got you.
Yeah, just I don't know where we'd be without you guys. Honest to God, I don't know where NLG would be right now without you guys. It wouldn't be here. Point blank, wouldn't be here. So, I owe you guys so much. All right.
Starting the after party here and on the Xbox.
Yeah, here we go. Let's get that after party going. All right. Official Twitter. My Twitter. Modzu's Twitter. Twitch. Like, subscribe. We'll probably
thingy.
thingy
Ding-a-ding.
thingy HTK's new microphone.
Ooh.
Hopefully, after the first of the year, Crazy Juan will show his face.
That's the plan.
That's the plan. We will probably. I don't think anything else giant. If any giant news breaks, if something happens, if somebody shuts down shop, then maybe we'll come back. I think that this will be our final podcast of the year. We're going to take a couple weekends off to, of course, the holidays, since Christmas, Hanukkah, and New Year's are all on weekends. We're going to give everybody, a chance to kind of relax, reload, get some gaming in. We'll do maybe we'll do a couple gamer nights where we do some community gaming. We're going to do some testing with Skype, and we're going to try to see. Obviously, everybody in the world uses Hangouts. It seems for podcasts, but Hangouts
and
it has its disadvantages. It has its drawbacks. So we're going to do some experimenting with some different formats and things, and see if we can make the podcast a little bit nicer on the eyes, a little bit more professional, and hopefully in 2017 we'll have a nice looking podcast to go along with our nice looking gentleman down here and me. So thank you guys so much. We will see you then after the first of the year. We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for making 2016 such a fun time here at Next Level Gaming. Thank you for just being part of our channel, just for being, for interacting with us, for being in that chat room, for everyone who's ever clicked a like and a share on our videos. Thank you so much. We're looking forward to a great new year. So if we don't talk to you beforehand, have a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, have a wonderful new year. We'll see you in 2017, but keep on the channel because we got plenty of gameplay coming. Everybody, have a wonderful, wonderful holiday season and play on, gamers.
Bye, everybody.
Peace out.
Night.